Now, the former British Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott has passed away at the age of 86. Prescott served under Tony Blair and helped transform the country's Labour Party. For more on John Prescott was appointed by Blair to appease the left of the Labour Party. And in interview with the British media this morning, Blair said he's devastated by the news. For more on this story, we can go across to Benedict Pavio standing by in London. Benedict, what reactions are you getting where you are?
Well, many tributes pouring in. The news broke late this morning. He was a big character by all accounts and a very significant one in British politics. Former Labour Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott there was a huge tribute from his former boss, former PM Tony Blair, who said that he was devastated. He knew it was coming. John Prescott, at 86, was suffering from Alzheimer's. He said there was no one quite like him in British politics. He recalled the infamous moment, where John Prescott punched a man during the 2001 general election. There was a real battle there. We're seeing it on screen. And that infamous incident, really, it seems, we're now learning, Mr. Prescott's future was really hanging in the balance. But Tony Blair really defused it by saying, well, John is John. And it came to be known as the Prescott punch. Current UK Prime Minister, Labour also, of course, Keir Starmer, called him, I quote, a true giant of the Labour movement. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown also paid tribute. He said, John was a friend of mine, he was a colleague, but when you think of him, he was a colossus. He was a titan of the Labour movement. Gordon Brown, who was Chancellor, so Minister of Finances, when John Prescott was Deputy Prime Minister from 1997 to 2007, said that Prescott was the first government minister to see the importance of the environment and praised his negotiation of the Kyoto Protocol.
Benedict, while you were speaking, we were actually playing the Prescott punch. What was it about John Prescott that truly made him one of a kind?
Well, at a time when really there were lots of special advisors, SPADs, and the new Labour government was seen as quite slick, very careful with its media operation. That punch, for example, that we're seeing again, the Prescott punch, was not typical. What other politician really would have survived that? He was a former trade union activist. He was a former shop steward. He'd been a steward on cruise liners. He rose in his work through the trade unions, and to become the longest UK deputy prime minister, he acted as a bridge between two very different grassroots, older Labour, harder Labour, and that new Labour. He also acted as a bridge between his boss, Tony Blair, the very much new Labour Prime Minister and man, and Gordon Brown, who had thought that he would become Prime Minister. And therefore, he was quoted as being a marriage counsellor between Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. John Prescott, who leaves a very big shadow in that sense, a very big place in British politics.